In the last few months, residents of Puerto Rico have been experiencing constant power outages, leading to a protest in the island's main highway on Friday. Complaints were against LUMA, the island's electric transmission and distribution, which recently took over and evenly split the responsibility of providing power with the government. So, joining us now for more on This is ABC News, Cristina Corujo. Cristina, thanks very much for being with us. So the people of Puerto Rico, I guess they're saying enough is enough. Protests across the island remind us that many are still without power. So what have you been able to see and hear there?
So, Terry, basically what we're hearing and what we're seeing is frustration from the people of Puerto Rico. We have to remind ourselves that power issues have been going on for years here in the island. So the people here are just exhausted on ongoing outages that have been going for years. And, this is happening, as you mentioned, LUMA has taken over the island's transmission and distribution system with the promise of seeing something better in the system. But as they are not seeing anything change, they took to the streets and went out to complain because they are reaching a point of no return. We're seeing people, from all ages and all political beliefs. So this is something that is affecting everyone across the island.
So, Cristina, with 1 year to prepare for this daunting responsibility, residents there in Puerto Rico say that they are seeing the worst response ever since LUMA took over. They've been questioned about its capability to handle the difficult situation, leading the Supreme Court of Puerto Rico demand answers on accountability. LUMA, however, has denied such requests. So whose responsibility is it to provide the power to the people?
So generation is still in the hands of the government of Puerto Rico. But they said that, the recent power outages that people have seen is all tied up to the instability in the transmission and distribution system. And that's in the hands of LUMA. And not only are the people of Puerto Rico asking and demanding answers, we also heard from Congress. It was literally 2 weeks ago when the Committee of Natural Resources had the head of LUMA, and basically they asked questions, detailed questions about, are you capable to restore the island's infrastructure and part of the distribution and transmission? They asked questions regarding how many employees, how many line workers do you have, how many trucks do you have? And none of these questions were answered. So we're not only talking about residents of Puerto Rico asking questions, but also we're talking about federal and local authorities that want that transparency from LUMA, and basically they have received no response as of today.
And Maria, you were there in Puerto Rico when Hurricane Maria devastated the island in 2017, triggering the second longest blackout in the history of the world. Just went on and on, no lights, no power. So what, if anything, has improved since then?
So basically, as you mentioned, the longest blackout in the history of the U.S. And the reality is that the electric system after Maria was repaired, but it was never rebuilt. So we're seeing a system now that was basically fixed up, but superficially. So that is why we have such a fragile system. And basically, the people of Puerto Rico are saying enough is enough. We want to see a stable system because, electricity and power is an essential service. And they haven't seen this for nearly 4 years. And they are done with this situation, and which is why, they took the streets and they're demanding. And what we've heard is that they won't stop to complain about the electric situation until they see a change in this unstable electric grid.
Follow the money. $11 billion in federal funding, Cristina, approved by Congress for Puerto Rico. But as of today, only $7 million has been dispersed. Where's the money?
So, Kira, that's the question the people of Puerto Rico and local officials are asking as well. We saw this announcement from the Trump administration last year about, billions and billions of dollars being approved to revamp the electric system. And this money is yet to be seen in the system. And the reality is that what I've been told by sources is that This is a very complex and bureaucratic process. There are plans that have to be submitted and they go back and forth, and that actually makes this process even slower. Meanwhile, what we're seeing is residents of Puerto Rico being the one affected the most because there is a back and forth, and this complex situation is only affecting them and their daily life.
All right, ABC News' Christina Cordero, thanks very much for being with us.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.